Hey everybody, we are live Monday Mastermind coming to you from South Africa, and we want to welcome you here. We're glad that you made it. I hope you have your favorite beverage. Ah, damn it, I forgot my beverage again. What the heck? Yeah, some water. I got some water. Water, as you Americans like to butcher the freaking English language there. But anyway, hope you have your favorite beverage with you. We've got a really jam-packed session here for you today. And we have the usual suspects on our panel. That everybody's here. And we've also got a special guest. And we'll be introducing her to you in a while, or just now, as we say. Just now in South Africa, it could mean a second from now, it could be 5 minutes, could be an hour, could be tomorrow, could be next week. Just now. So if you ever meet a South African and they say, "I'll be there just now," just know it's not now. It's kind of like you're in a moment. All right. So with that being said, let's start over with Papa Smurf. We're glad that you made it. Apparently, you did some walking. How'd that go for you?
I did. We just got here, actually. We had to go get some groceries, decided to walk, and it was actually we had some walking before that, but we ended up about 11-mile walk. I made 12.6 some miles for the day, and I'm going to sleep pretty good tonight. Yeah, I might not be able to walk in the morning, but I'm going to sleep good tonight. Yeah, it was good. Had a great walk. I like doing that. I'd rather climb some mountains, though. Had a great week, absolutely great week. And we are still in Florida, thankfully, because it's snowing like a dog up in Minnesota where we're from. They can have it. I hope not to be in that environment too often anymore. That'd be fine with me. I spent 64.5 years in it, so that's enough. Back to you in the studio.
Yeah, that's good. I gotta say, I've only seen snow twice in my life. One when I went overseas, and I went to the Brook. We don't really have snow over here, but we've got extreme level on the extreme weather. It sound like I'm a FUD. We've got extreme weather here, and everything gets way too hot or way too cold. We don't really have snow that much, but man, when it rains, it pours. It rains cats and dogs, and you know it's raining cats and dogs because all the little poodles all over the place. But with that being said, we've got Mr. Jamie Shaw. I'll wait until we get to the ladies last, because we've got to save the best for last, and obviously age before beauty, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Jamie Shaw, how you doing, sir?
Oh, doing good now, because that Elmer Fudd comic just made me start crying. Oh. So it's been a pretty good weekend, and I'm not getting the snow like Wisconsin's getting. It rained all day here, and it looks like it's going to rain all week. So we had it was almost 65 degrees Saturday or Sunday, and today it's like 45 and raining. It's supposed to be like that all week. I'm ready for the sun, so this winter stuff's for the birds. I'm tired of it. But had an interesting weekend. Showed everybody how to do HTTPS. Then I went and tried to do it to one of my websites and totally screwed it up. But I got it back, and I did it to another one of my websites, and it worked just fine. So I don't know. I missed a step in there on that one website I get evidently, and totally screwed everything up. Good thing for backups and restores and stuff like that, or I would have lost the whole site. So, but it was something I was having a hard time getting it back, and it was something as simple as my CNAME didn't have my IP address in it, so that was something easy to figure out. And but getting my redesigns done, getting all my sites secure, stuff like that. So I've been busy with that, and I've been taking actually a couple courses. I've been taking an SEO course and taking an NLP master's course, and learning a lot. Learning a lot about SEO that I didn't know before, and it's kind of intriguing that Dave's taught us a lot of SEO and stuff, but it seems like I don't know, maybe I wasn't paying attention or something, because I've had a lot of aha moments in both of them courses. But it's been a good week, you know.
That's awesome, man. And yeah, I mean, that's the whole deal about just learning all the time. It's definitely one of my habits, trying to learn something new every day. And as long as you're doing that, you'll be in success, obviously. And so, with that being said, let's go over to Miss Katie with no E. You know, if you don't know why, it's like, how do you introduce yourself? Hi, I'm Katie with an I. I'm Katie with no E. So, Katie, how are you doing?
I'm doing just great. Like Pops, these shoes were made for walking, and that's exactly what they did. I did 10 miles in these babies today. So yes, I'm sitting Indian style right now, and it's probably going to be really hard to undo that later. But I think I could figure that out. So if you hear any crackling noises in the background, that's probably my knees. Anyways, but everything's good. Can't wait to learn more about Takia's story, because this woman here, she is awesome. The way she teaches, the way she speaks, you'll be just awestruck. I'm telling you, just the way she talks is just like she knows what she's doing for sure. Back to you in the studio.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And yes, you know, Katie actually said her name. Like, she gave it away. She didn't even say it, but that's cool. We got Takia Hainsley on with us today, and we're so blessed to have us with us. You know, Takia is remarkable in so many ways, but as Katie says, she, in my opinion, I was just telling this to Takia earlier, she just oozes positive of a business, which is an amazing quality to have inside of your business. And she's been at the game for quite a while, all right? So we're not dealing with a new person, we're dealing with somebody who has been in this industry for a while. She's certainly got a lot to talk to us about. And what I want to do is bring out, she can introduce herself to us and we can learn from her. What I asked Takia to do is to tell us her story, how she got started in this industry, how you know, she progressed, because you know, she's married, she's got kids, she has her life is very busy. And one of the things that I was really amazed by is she used to run this deal where, and she still does it, although she's calmed down, but not because she doesn't have time. She's calm with Facebook Lives because it's just benefiting her business. But for a while there, for about 2 years, she was doing a Facebook Live every single 2 years straight. And I just couldn't believe that. I was like, are you serious? You do this every single day? And that's because she's driven. You know, she is motivated, and she's just not going to give up. And so to get welcome to the panel, welcome to the session with us. Why don't you please tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into this industry, and how you got to where you are, you know, and you've made tremendous strides with Mighty System Pro. Please come aboard, and the floor is yours. So I'm going to throw the studio right over to your side so you can catch it. Remember that. Go for it. Welcome.
Thank you, Dave. That was an amazing introduction. I appreciate that. So, oh boy, my story, it has definitely been a journey. I don't know if the screen jumped on your end, but it's okay. So I started out, well, even before I got into network marketing this time, I was a teacher. I first got into network marketing, I want to say 10 or 12 years ago, with a travel company. And that was so exciting for me. I was just starting to teach. I was a teacher. So, you know, the travel thing was so exciting. I get to book trips for people and all of that. But I didn't know that I was supposed to build a team too. And they would always tell me, hey, you got to build a team. You got to get some other people in here. But it never worked out. So that didn't work for me. I'm booking travel left and right, and that was a lot of work. And I was a teacher, so I was teaching and lesson planning and all that. I didn't have time for that. So needless to say, I got out of that. The people that I came in under didn't know what they were doing. I didn't know what I was doing. So when I left, nobody was hurt. So I taught for a few years. Then I had a baby and stopped teaching. Decided to be a stay-at-home mom. And I was home raising kids for a while, 6 or 7 years before I started to get back in the game. And I started my own business. There are some network marketing businesses that sell the same products I sold, but me being the person I am, I didn't want to do that. I went and found some wholesalers and I just went for it. I was doing home parties. And that's not cool when you have kids. It just was not cool for me. So I eventually I trickled away from that to spend more time with my kids. And in 2015, early 2015, my cousin had joined a network marketing company, and she said, "Listen, I'm going to sign you up for this company." And I was on my way on vacation. I said, "I don't care what you do. I'll look at it when I get back." Right. So I was in this company. I didn't know anything about the company for like 3 months. And I had some product laying around, some vitamins. I started just taking them because it was in my house. I didn't want it to go to waste. And it kept coming to my house every month. So I was like, okay, let me start using this stuff or sell it or something. And in doing that, I was like, oh, I might have something. So I went online and started checking the company out. And, that 3 months in, I decided to be a new person in the company. And I was like, wow, this is cool. Now I'm going to work this company. And I did. I was fortunate enough to have been out of the game long enough to where my warm market, my friends and family were still listening to me. So I was calling them up. I made my list. I did what sponsors tell you to do. I made my list. I called them up, but I couldn't, it was just something about the way they were teaching me to do it. Call them up and give them this line and go from there. No, let's not give them that line because these are my friends and family. I've built some rapport with them. I'm not a salesperson. So in doing that, I took what I already knew just from my own personality and started making phone calls and built on those relationships. And I did okay. I was signing 2 or 3 people every week consistently. And eventually I ran out of people to talk to. So the company was saying, oh, there's so many people on Facebook. Go on Facebook and do this and post this 20 times a day and post this flyer and post this special and post this phone call. And I tried that for about 2 weeks. And people were sending me messages and saying, what is going on? Can you stop? And I'm sending people messages saying, hey, have you heard about this? And this is so awesome. And they were like unfriending me left and right. I was like, something's not right here. So I hit a serious dry spell, and I did like most people in the world. I went to my friend Google and YouTube, and I started asking questions like, what do you do when you run out of people to talk to? How do you sponsor people in a company? How do you how do you talk to people about business, and, you know, all types of questions. And I found a few people. I had never heard of Eric Worre before. And I'm like running into all these huge internet marketers. I had no idea who they were. Matt Morris, Cesar Rodriguez, and I'm just following their YouTube videos. I like every day for a couple weeks, I would just go on YouTube and search something. And when I saw a familiar face, I would check out their video. And I got on Caesar's list, and I was in one of his challenges, a 7-day challenge or something like that. And from there, he introduced me to MLSP. And I was like, yeah, got to do that. So I got into MLSP, and my mind was blown. I was like, wow, this is a gold mine. I'm going through trainings, and just like I was doing when I was on the YouTube videos, every time I learned something, I would go try it. Like, they're right. This stuff works. Like, they actually know what they're talking about. I engaged in the community, and I started meeting people, and people just started giving me tips left and right. Like, I didn't ask people to start watching me. People would just start watching me, and they would send me a message. Hey, Takia, you know, the next time you post something like that, add this to it. Or the next time you do this, add that. And I'm just sucking it in. Every time they gave me a tip, I took action on it. And that's the thing that now that I'm on the other side of the spectrum, that's the thing I noticed that people don't really do. When you give them advice, they'll sit on it, or they'll wait for a few weeks before they do it. But you never know what's going to happen in a couple weeks. Facebook might change completely, flip upside down in a couple weeks. So when you get the tips, act on it right then. When you learn something, as soon as you learn it, act on it, because this is the internet, and the internet changes every single day. So what worked last year might not work this year. What worked 5 years ago might not work this year. So the only thing that I have noticed has been completely consistent throughout the whole thing is personal development. So the personal development that I was getting when I first got in MLSP, those wake up calls, and just the stuff that I found in the training library, that stuff is still relevant today, and I'm sure it'll be relevant tomorrow. Like, you can't go wrong building yourself. And I built my business around building yourself. So my original tagline for my business was build you, then your business. And that's what I teach my students now. And when I say teach my students, I'm no longer in a classroom. Yeah, I kind of left my story a bit. I'm no longer in the school classroom. I'm a homeschool mom. So I have my own classroom here at home where I teach my kids, and that's a huge chunk of my day. But I teach now different home business owners how to build their business online. And coming through MLSP, I never ever saw myself doing this. But being where I was, lost and confused with no direction on a team where my upline believed post 20 times a day, I need to see this flyer on your timeline. I can see with my own 2 eyes that that's not working. But, you know, this is what they're telling me to do. And when I learn something new, I try to share with them, you know, that what you're saying really doesn't work. Let me show you what I did that's working. And it's like, no. We're going to keep doing what the company tells us to do. And I just could not continue with that. So I left that company, and it was, you know, it was for my benefit. Even leaving that company, I was no longer in network marketing, but I still had value in MLSP. You know, it's one of those things where MLSP was feeding me, and it was almost my duty to continue to feed the people that I was coming in contact with. And even once I left the company, I still helped people that were in the company because I knew something they didn't know. So it's just one of those things. When you learn something, it's your obligation to share it with somebody. Otherwise, you get, as Diane Hockman says, information constipation. And it's just clogging you up. And your brain is just cluttered with all this information. You have all this information in your head, and you don't know what to do with it. It's just there. And it's just like a suitcase. If you keep stuffing stuff in a suitcase, eventually you're not going to be able to keep putting stuff in there. You got to take some stuff out. You don't know if you're taking out important stuff or not. You're just taking stuff out. And that's how your brain gets. You keep stuffing all this information in and you're not regurgitating it. You're not sharing the information with other people, or at least getting it out. Write a book or something. Like, you got to get it out. That not only does that help you process the information, but it gives more room for you to put more stuff in. And as you keep putting stuff in and letting stuff out, now you have a constant flow of information. These like ideas and information are like little dots, right? So you have all of these dots in your head, and as you're bringing in information and as information is flowing through, now the dots are starting to connect, and each piece of information actually means more because you learned something else that relates to it. So as you're learning stuff, make sure you're letting it flow through. Your information has to flow through just like anything else you put into your body. The same thing works with your mind. And I've learned that. I learned that coming into MLSP, I had to help people. It was my duty to continue helping people. And that's what I've been doing the last few years. From being a part of MLSP, I've learned I've learned how to monetize what I do. So, at first it's cool to help people for free, it's cool. But when you are putting so much time and dedication into people on an individual one-on-one basis, you have to start putting a monetary value on what you do. And of course, I took some training on that. And I was like, how do I set this up? How do I do that? How do I become a coach? So I took that training, and in the midst of all this, all the learning and personal development and books and everything that I'm putting in, that's when, like Dave was saying, I started doing videos, doing midday motivation. And with midday motivation, I think I had been doing it for maybe 6 months when a personal friend of mine was like, I love your videos, but like, what does it mean? What are you going to do with that? Is that leading to something? Right? Like, why are you doing these videos? Like, really? And at first I didn't have an answer. I was like, I'm learning stuff, so I just have to share it. And she's a business owner. All her daughters are business owners. And she was like, no, Takia, no. What are you going to do with this information? You have some good information. What are you doing with it? What's your plan? So I thought about it for about a week. And so, of course, I went online and I was like, okay, so I've learned, I know how to coach. I know how to hold people's hands. I know how to do this. And I just brainstormed, what do I know how to do? How can I build something around this? So I went and got certification as a life coach. And I just integrated that in my business. I was already doing midday motivation every day. That was my brand. I had already built a brand around motivation, around midday motivation. And I would talk about all types of stuff on midday motivation. It was always inspiring, always motivating, always feeding people's minds and spirits, productivity, I talked about money. I talked about money mindsets. If it was something to build your mind, to make your life better, I talked about it. Like I did it Monday through Friday, every single week for almost 2 years straight. And I still do it on Wednesdays and Fridays. And on Mondays, I strictly talk about money, but on Wednesdays and Fridays, you know, it's motivation. It's whatever goes. And I think the most common question I get with midday motivation is, where do I find content? And like I said before, if you're constantly feeding your mind, you have an overflow of content. You got to get it out. So if you keep putting stuff in your mind, you have content for days. And literally, I can pull content from anywhere. Everything I feed my mind, I think about it and I regurgitate it. If I watch a good movie and it has a lesson in it, well, I can find a lesson in a movie. My first ever blog post was about the Peanuts movie. Like, I found like 3 or 4 lessons in the Peanuts movie with Charlie Brown and his friends, right? So whatever you put in your mind, it doesn't have to be a personal development book, but if you read a book on personal development, every chapter has about 5 messages in it. That's 5 blog posts, 5 videos, 5 YouTube videos, So just continue to feed your mind and you will always have content. Every time you learn something, it's going to relate to something else. Your brain makes the connections for you. So every time you get an aha moment, write it down and expand on it. Where did you get that idea from? Where did you get that idea from? How do these 2 ideas relate? What does this idea mean in my life today? What will this idea mean in my life tomorrow? How can this idea help somebody else? How did that idea help me? So just keep asking yourself questions. Every time you have an idea, every time you think something, how many questions can you answer with that thought? And ta-da, look at all that content. Now you're talking for a whole hour on a commercial. It could be anything. So, yeah, let's see, where am I in my story now? Today I am, I'm, like I said, I still do midday motivation. I have a coaching business. A part of my coaching business, I have a membership site, something else I learned coming through MLSP. So now here's the thing with MLSP. The way the company is structured and the way most people think, usually there's a collision in the beginning until you get that click, right? So with MLSP, originally the company was built by network marketers for network marketers. But because there are thousands upon thousands of different network marketing companies, it's not fair to make trainings about one company's products or one industry, because network marketing expands so many industries, right? So they have their own products. They have their own training. They have all this information where they use their system and their products as an example. And that's the part everybody misses. It's just an example. The whole system of MLSP is an example. So when you start seeing it as an example and learn how to plug and play, you'll be able to build any type of business you want. So I looked at MLSP as an example. They tell you exactly what to do. When you first get in, they give you the whole funnel. They give you the capture page, they give you the lead magnet, they give you the upsell, they give you the done for you written emails. So now you plug and play. You make your own capture page. And then you make your own lead magnet. plug in your own products. If you're in network marketing, you plug in your network marketing product or your network marketing opportunity. And then you write your email series, right? You create your own upsell, make your own funnel using MLSP as the example. So that's what I did. I built my own funnels and I used the whole company, the whole system of MLSP as my example. So I have a Facebook community, right? MLSP has a Facebook community. I have a membership site, right? With different trainings. Okay. MLSP has a membership site, right? With different trainings. I bring other people in, other leaders to come in and speak to my community, right? People that are a part of my community, I lift them up. MLSP does these things. So we use the company as an example to build within the company. Like, it's all right there. It's laid out for you crystal clear. But you just have to make sure that you're using them as an example and don't get caught up in, oh man, they just want me to build MLSP. Oh man, they're just trying to get me to sell their products and get more people to sign up with MLSP. That's not what it's about. Like, when you escape from that mindset, it's like, whoa, they're teaching me so much. And again, there's another dot, another dot. And then as you feed your mind, you're connecting the dots, connect the dots. But you don't want to let those negative thoughts, because there are people out there that'll say, oh, you're an MLSP. They keep telling you to brand yourself, but you're just branding MLSP. You're just selling MLSP. See, those dots you don't need in your head. That's the dots, you throw those dots out. That's the first stuff you take out. No, that's not right. You have to understand the system. Understand that this is an example. They tell you that. They really do tell you that in those first few videos. You just missed it. So make sure that you're using the system as an example to build you, then your business, build your brand. Your brand is you. Build You Inc. They scream it from the mountaintops, but you were too busy. You had too many of those other dots in your head, right? So that's my spiel on MSP. That's where I am. So I have my membership site. I do coaching. My official title is success coach and strategist, because I focus on success and goal setting as a whole life experience, not just social media, not just building your business, but we build you, then your business. If you build you, the business will come. If you focus on the process, that's what Dave and I was talking about earlier. One of my biggest aha moments was literally marrying the process and divorcing the outcome. And I thought I had done that. I thought I had done that 5 times over, but in actuality, I hadn't. I was still, okay, I'm not focused on ranking. I'm not focused on that. I'm not focused on signing people up. I'm not focused on introducing people to the company. I'm not focused on that, but I was. I was just saying I wasn't focused on it, but I was. My ultimate goal had become introducing people to what I had to offer. But that's not the process. The process is putting content out. You got to start enjoying putting out the content. And grand scheme, I enjoy doing midday motivation. Hence why that area of my business has completely blossomed, because I enjoy the process and the business grew on its own. I enjoyed the process. I married the process. I'm going to do a video every day. That's what it's about. It's not about bringing people into my coaching program. That just kind of happened. Takia, can you help me? Okay. What do I need to do to get to this point? Can you help me do live video? Can you help me reach my goals? Can you help me do this, this, and this? And that was because I wasn't focused on getting people to pay me to coach them. I was focused on, I got to show up every day because somebody needs to hear what I have to say. So I have to show up every day because I don't know who this video is for today. I don't know who this message is for today, but I got to show up and I have to deliver. That's the process. The business just came. So you really have to look at your intent. What's your intention behind everything you're doing? Are you doing it to get customers and sign-ups and clients, or are you doing it because this is the thing to do? Like, you're building a business. Part of building that business is putting out content. Are you putting out content? Part of the business is meeting new people. Are you meeting new people? Part of the business is, networking and just helping people, right? You will always be paid for the service you provide. So if you just focus on providing the service, the pay will come. It's gonna come. Okay, that's a universal law, the law of reciprocity. You put something out, something's gonna come back to you. You put out some good is gonna come back to you. You serve, and you will be paid. That's just how it works. Yeah, and just don't quit.
I just wanted to mention something here, and we were talking about, it's a theme that I see a lot with people who actually gain success, is that they're in the business of serving people. And you started you wanted to be a teacher, teaching people. You ended up homeschooling your kids in the service of teaching. And you love learning, you love growing, and you love educating your mind. And one of the things that got me into a habit of serving was that I was put in a position where I was not forced, but I was put in a position of I had to be support. I had to be support for I was helping out a friend with emails. And their questions would come up to answer. And the reason I'm mentioning this is you said something very interesting. You said, build your business around yourself. And I think that's key. Because as you learn and as you get to know this business, when you get started with My Lead System Pro, you're a blank canvas, especially if you start learning all of these new things. And once you understand that, once you start building business around what you're educating yourself with, as you say, that switch that needs to flip over is the one where you've got to understand that that's what you put out, and you've got to start educating other people with that. And a lot of people don't realize that that is the thing. As you say, you've got to marry yourself to the process. You've got to divorce yourself from the result and marry the process. And I fall into the trap of being in love with the result rather than being in love with the process. I do fall into that trap still today. And I think that's so important that you mentioned that.
Yeah, definitely. And also another major thing that has happened recently is taking that extra leap of faith. So, MLSP just came out with this new system, the new format, right? And I'm in another company as well. And I had just the week before made the commitment to upgrade in my other affiliate company. And it was a complete leap of faith. Like, you don't know what's on the other side. You get scared for a while and you're like, man, I don't know, So when you make the decision when you decide, I'm going all in, I'm going to do this, there's like this crazy shift that just happens, right? The shift just happens. And it's all because you have let go of the fear and you let go of the end game. Because upgrading is part of the process. Like completely going all in is all a part of the process. And when you look at it as this is just another part of my business, another aspect of my business, then you just do it. This is part of the process. So yeah, that was just one last thing that I thought of, and I'm like, oh no, definitely. When you make that shift, everything around you just starts clicking. It's a shift everywhere, and it's a mindset shift. Everything is mindset. Everything is mindset.
I agree. I mean, it's not we have. I mean, if you think about it, we have all the faculties of a person that can succeed in life. It's not like we're missing any. We all have a brain. We all have eyes and a mouth and ears and nose, and we've all got the same things that we do. The only difference is we use our mind for our business, and it's really about thinking about this correctly and getting away from the way that the typical world and gratification is to think, of getting away from that rat race and not being a slave to somebody else your entire life, and understanding you're the one that can actually determine where you're going to end up, and that's so important. Mindset, everything. Everything. Most of what I do, because I'm about mindset as well. I do a lot of teaching in that realm as well, because I understand it's so important. That's the thing that got me moving. That's the thing that got me to the next level. But you can take the same individual, put them in the same environment that I'm in, and they won't succeed because they don't have the right mindset. And you might think, well, gee, if only I was in America, if only I was in Australia, if only I was in the UK, or if only I was in some different place of the world, that I would succeed much better than I was right now. And I keep saying that is not what determines your outcome. Your outcome is how you think.
Mm-hmm.
If you took Ray Higdon and you put him in my position right now, where I am right now, he would be able to achieve more because of the way he thinks. It's got nothing to do with your location. And I used to think that. I used to think, gee, I live in Africa. I'm a third world country. I have so many obstacles against me, yet despite that, I'm still able to get out of the rat race. And yet so many South Africans think, it's so impossible because our economy is so bad. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? I've made it. So I'm living proof you can achieve it. It's got nothing to do with your location. Geographically, that is garbage. It's just the way you think. Does anybody here add to that, or somebody?
Yeah, actually I do. I wanted to point out something that's really important that you had in that moment. What really stuck out with me, Takia, is that person, that friend of yours, who reached out to you and asked you those really important questions and saying, you have all this information, what are you going to do with it? And she got your brain rocking. And there's something that I went through a training. It's called the Power Habit System with Noah St. John, and he calls it your loving mirror. So it's important to have those loving mirrors in your life, because they're the ones that see that potential in you that you may not have noticed. They're the ones who says, hey, did you know you're really good at this, this, and this? And they're the ones that are going to tell you that, and you can use those strengths and turn that into something that's really amazing. And that's exactly what you did, Takia. You're like, okay, well, I'm doing all this information, and you pondered for like a good week, which is great. And you came up with this amazing thing, and you're getting results, you're helping other people get results, and you're just showing up all the time. But what happened is that it started with that loving mirror and that person coming to you and saying, you got something, girl. It's like, dude, what are you going to do with it? And I think that's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
like
cool.
that was definitely a major turning point for me. Just having her ask me that one question, like, but what are you really doing with this? And thanks to her, I have my first live speaking engagement next month. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
thank you. So yeah, it's just taking that time and having your loving mirror actually point out what you're good at, because sometimes you don't see it. You don't.
Well, for some of us disorganized people, Takia, I mean, you had to be organized eventually to be able to put the content out, take care of kids, and juggle this and juggle that. And of course, we have people here who and people who are going to watch the replay who are in the same position or have full-time jobs. And would you speak on scheduling and the importance that it was to you in order to be able to maintain a level of consistency with scheduling?
Sure. So in college, part of some class that I had, we had to take a time management course, and they gave us lots of tools on how to manage our time, and that just stuck with me. And I have always used the same tool to find my time, and I have actually created a lead magnet out of it. And I've always used planners. They taught us that in like high school or something. They gave us a planner every year. So, and they gave us planners in college every year. So as an adult, I used a planner. But with me doing so many different things, one planner was never enough. So I created my own planner. I took the best of all the planners that I used and created my own planner. And now I give that away as a lead magnet. I give away my planner and my um, my time, find my time tool. So basically, I still do it occasionally just to, as I add stuff to my plate, I have to go back to my find my time tool and find my time. When am I going to have time to work on this? What extra time do I have in my day? And basically, when I find, that's how I know when I have time. People that say I don't have time or I'm oh so busy, typically you have time. Okay. I actually I still teach. I teach a class in China early in the morning. That was an extra time that I found because I had other goals. So I've just got into solo ads with my other affiliate company, and I don't want to move other money. So I found, like, where there's a will, there's a way, right? So I found another way to fund my solo ads, right? So I have time in the mornings before my kids get up. So I use that time to teach in China. They're 12 hours ahead of me. So, okay, if that works out, then, and I schedule everything in my where's my time. So because breakfast takes time, right? Especially when you're dealing with breakfast with kids. So I schedule breakfast. I schedule our our block of time for school, and then I have a block of time that I do midday motivation and prepare for that. Then we finish school, and then I have a block of time where I do all my engagement and networking on Facebook. I have a block of time when I'm driving to dance or football practice. I have a block of time while I'm there, and while I'm there, I can still do other things, like listen to a training or do some more work on Facebook or engage in my groups. All of that stuff is, I have it scheduled so I can find my time. And then dinner takes time, right? So preparing for dinner, eating dinner, that takes time. Putting the kids to bed takes time. Once they go to bed, I have to put in time to have conversations and watch TV with my husband, right? Because that takes time. Okay. I'm not on the internet during that time. So that's not time I want to mess with. Okay. Then I put my sleep time on there, right? I know me. If I don't sleep, I'm grouchy. And we don't want school to be thrown off because I didn't get my sleep. So so I just put time down for everything. And I'm like, oh, I have an extra 30 minutes here. I have an extra hour on Tuesdays. I have extra time here. So if I decide to pick up something else, or if I want to move something around, then this is when I can move it to. When I'm scheduling clients, this is all the time you get. This is the time I work with clients. So in the beginning, if your schedule is not as hectic as mine, part of your posture is knowing exactly where your time is. Because, if you want to show somebody a presentation and they don't want to look at it right now, or they don't want to look at it in your time, or they don't want you to follow up in a certain time, you're like, okay, listen, I'm available this time and this time. Which time slot do you want? Because you have to understand, you're providing a solution for them. They're not providing a solution for you. You're providing a solution for them. So they need to fit into your schedule. And if you know what your schedule looks like, you can hold that posture better. It's like, no, I can't stop and do this with you right now. Let's schedule a time. And just saying that we have to schedule a time gives you a little more posture, gives you extra little So if you know what your time looks like, then there's the posture right there. I already know. I can talk to you on Tuesday at 2:30, and I have about 15 minutes. Does that work for you? Okay, not Tuesday. Let's try Thursday at 5:15. Oh, if that can't work, then email me. So
Brilliant. I think that's brilliant. And so here's the question I think everybody wants to know. Where can they find that lead magnet of yours? Is it on your website, or should we reach out to you on Facebook? Because I know Pops wants it. I want it. So where can we find that so we can get that information?
You can reach out to me on Facebook, but it's also, well, none of you are homeschool moms, so you probably wouldn't need to go in my group to get it. But there's a bit link, bit.ly/
Actually, send it to my
N.
Facebook. Send it to my Facebook, and I'll put it in the link. I'll put it in the comments there. That'll be a lot easier.
Yes.
Yep. We'll do that. And Lori wants one too, so we'll put it in there. I'll put your Facebook in there again, and your Bitly link for your time magic ninja stuff. That's cool. Because Pops was actually literally telling us, we're talking about it as we are walking our 10 mile walk, because we have like that much time to talk. But he was telling me that he wants to get on a schedule. And we're so sporadic and hectic that like we've been living that kind of lifestyle for a while. I don't know how we've been surviving, but we have. But he wants to get more on a schedule so we can get a lot more done instead of working harder. We do want to work smarter, so we want to give that a go and try to learn that. So I'll put that Bitly link in the comments here.
Okay. And that just made me, let me jot this down. I need to just go ahead and put a whole website of, a web link to that. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's always interesting, this whole time factor. And I remember you know, I don't know who said this, but I don't remember who said this exactly, but people who are in business and who want to work with people, a lot of people might say, well, they don't have time to do this, or they don't have time to do it. I would rather work with somebody who doesn't have time than somebody who says they've got a lot of time on their hands, because then they're not really doing much. Because we can tell that, you know, you're a very busy person, but you're still actively thinking about what it is that you want to do for the next couple of days. It's something that you fit into your life. And time is a very important part of everybody's life. I use it differently. I'm not a scheduler myself, but I find time to do stuff because that's just the way that I work. But other people need scheduling to get more stuff done. The day for me is that I can keep working until I completely forget about everything around me. So I have to schedule time away from my business. But everybody has a different way of focusing on work. And, you know, that's definitely something, if you want to get more done in your life and you've got 1 hour focus, that's definitely a great tool to have. You know, I don't know if anybody else wants to add to that. But as we can see, we're coming up to the closing hour right now, and we'd like to keep this to an hour. I want to thank everybody on the comments. Lori, Maria's, yeah, I don't know if I saw Maria there, but we got quite a few people commenting. And I know we have Joe Whistler watching. Mac is on here, and Thomas, maybe Ricky's watching. We thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate everybody, and we appreciate you having on here and sharing your wisdom with us. I know I learned a ton of learning written down as you were talking, so I value that. Thank you so much. Jamie, do you want to say something?
No, I've been busy chopping down trees, you know, just writing all these damn notes down. So, you know, I really don't have anything to add to it or anything. So I'll just leave it as it is. Awesome story. Thanks for being here, Takia.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's an honor.
Appreciate you so much. And we will be here same time next week. And we don't forget, you want to get on to Jamie's hang on Thursday. We've got a whole bunch of them happening during the week. I believe Ricky is running his own hangout on Tuesday. I think it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so he'll be running that. So we want to get on there and give him some support because he's starting his own hangout on a weekly schedule. So we want to get on that. And don't forget, Sonia and Maria, 10 p.m. Is it 10? Is it 10? I never remember time. What is it? Does everybody know?
The Maria and Sonia?
4 p.m.
Yep, 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to be on there as well. And that's here. We'll see you same time next week. And we'll also see you on Wisdom Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great time. Cheers.
Still live.